Everybody would just say, that's not a good thing he did. That's not too good. You never know what's going to say. So far, I've never had that problem, but that problem has been had before by others. But I want to thank Shanna. We'll get out, and we're going to go there during, you get ready for me. Maybe you can convince me with that vegan food, okay? You get a good, healthy vegan food. But the choice for Wisconsin is simple. If you want lower costs, higher incomes, and an affordable American dream, then you have no choice but to vote for a gentleman named Donald J. Trump for president. Crooked Joe likes to talk about junk fees, but the biggest junk fee of all, think about it, is all of the 50% Biden inflation tax, and that's what it is. And you just think of it. I mean, if you look at the real numbers of that, it's incredible. And we thought it was 30%, and we were sure it was no more than that. It turns out to be actually 50%. The extra cost you're paying at the grocery counter and the gas pump and all of the other places that you have to go buy no matter what you buy, and that's all taken place within 3.5 years. Think of it. But here's the good news. We have 6 months. Now, with these stupid people running our country, that's an eternity, because you could end up in World War III with this group here. You don't know what's going to happen, but 6 months sounds very short. It's not. Frankly, with them, it's an eternity. But it is not that long a period of time, and we'll be here very quickly, and we're going to have a good time, and we're going to have a great convention, and I'm honored to have chosen your state. We had a lot to do with that. Reince. Yeah. We're honored. Biden has run the government like Robin Hood, essentially in reverse, stealing from the poor and giving it to the rich. That's actually what he does. You know, they talk the game, oh, Trump, Trump, Trump. It's the opposite. It's the opposite. It's like I was saying the other day, the New York Times, every story they write is the exact opposite. They're so untruthful. They take something and make it the opposite. So when you're reading a story, you have to remember, you just do the opposite. It's a terrible thing. It's the same with the Democrats. They say many of the rich people are with Democrats. It's changed. We've become the party of the worker. We become the party of the middle income. It's done a whole flip. Just listen, a few examples of what Biden's inflation taxes really brought. Crooked Joe is spending hundreds of billions of dollars to give $7,500 tax credits to rich people who buy electric cars. What do you think of an electric car? Well, I like Elon, but, the car, and there's a place for electric cars, but you have to have other choices, too. They want to have, by the end of, 5 years from now, by 2030, they want to have, think of this, almost everybody having an electric car, but they don't want them. And they're not selling. And one of the great things, people don't know, well, how come they keep getting made? You know why? Because the government, our government, subsidizes the hell out of them. So the car companies are doing okay. They're making cars that aren't selling. They're just not selling. They're giving billions and billions of dollars away in subsidy to create cars that people don't want. And again, I'm all for them. If you want to go to the candy store, buy yourself a little candy and come back home. But if you want to take a trip to a place like Mar-a-Lago to say hello to me, you better get yourself a different mode of transportation. And the scary part about that, they want trucks to be that way, and the trucks have to stop 6 times going to California versus not stopping at all. If you get the big diesels. And it's really crazy. It's really crazy when you think of what they do. And they never change. You can explain this to them. 6 stops versus no stop. You don't have to know much more than that. There's one other thing. The battery would take up almost the entire truck. You wouldn't have any room for very much. They want to make our army tanks all electric. So that when we go into a foreign country, blazing hot, we're going in, we keep their environment and their air nice and clean. Now, how crazy is it? Are we crazy? They want to use a certain fuel in airplanes. You know, I bought all brand new, beautiful jet fighters. I rebuilt the whole military. They want to use a certain fuel that brings the jets back down to 15% less efficient. That's a lot. When you have somebody shooting at you on the other side, the 15% is the difference between winning and losing. So I said it's 15%. That's right. Now think of it. We're fighting over enemy territory. We're worried about their carbon content. I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about bringing our people back and winning. We're worried about winning. It's amazing. Even in South Carolina, I visited where, by the way, we beat the governor by a record number, the former governor. They have a great governor there now, actually. But we did great. You know, in the primaries, we won every Iowa, no matter where we went. We won New Hampshire. We go to New Hampshire. We get the most votes in the history of the state of New Hampshire. In the primaries, Republican or Democrat. You know, Kennedys, and they're right up in that territory and all. But Iowa, we won the largest margin. Different, it's a caucus state. We won the largest margin ever by 2. So we won the largest margin, doubled, and then we went to Nevada. We went all over the place. When we got to South Carolina, we won in record fashion. But we won in Nevada in record fashion. Every state we went to, we won in record fashion, and it's really an honor. And then we won the quickest that anybody's ever won. You know, right now, if this was like a normal candidate that you're listening to, or like a normal person, they'd still be campaigning. But we had this thing over with 2 months ago or something. So I just want to thank everybody. That was a great feeling, because there's something in the air. Let's say I haven't changed, and you know what bugs me? When they say, we have 2 very unpopular candidates, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. They're very unpopular. He's unpopular. I'm not unpopular. I'm like at 94% approval in the Republican Party. I'm not unpopular. The fake news. Oh, I hate that. You know, it's terrible. We have 2 very unpopular people running for election. I'm not unpopular. I mean, look at the vote we're getting. We're winning virtually every state. We're winning every swing state. We're winning every national poll. We're not unpopular. I'm unpopular in China. I'm unpopular in some other places where we've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. No other president's taken in 10 cents. They're not, in love with me, but, I love this country. President Xi loves China. And, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? With Putin, interesting, I ended Nord Stream 2. Nord Stream 2 is the pipeline. Nobody ever heard of it before I came along. I ended the pipeline going all over Europe, going to Germany in particular, but all over Europe. I ended it. It was done. Biden came in and he approved it, the biggest deal ever done in Russia. And Putin once told me, he said, if you're supposed to be like a guy, a nice guy, I'd hate like hell to see you as a bad guy. You have been brutal to... Think of ending the biggest economic development job, the biggest thing they've ever done is a pipeline going through all of Europe. I ended it. Biden comes in almost from the first day, he let it go forward. And then they say, Trump is easy on Russia. No, I was very tough in Russia. I got along with Putin very well. I got along with President Xi of China very well. Got along with Kim Jong-un of North Korea very well. And you know what? It's really... Take it easy. I'll tell you, there's a guy I want in the foxhole with me. Now, where is that guy? Where is he? He's a rough-looking guy. I want that guy in the foxhole. We could keep it down a little bit. That's all right, man. That's all right. No, people are angry about it. People are angry. It's like stupid. You know what I say about the party? It's become, with me running it, it's become the party of common sense. Our party, it's the party of common sense. They say, is it conservative? It is, it's conservative. It's just common sense. There are things that aren't so conservative. We want the party. We want to have a wall, which, by the way, we built 571 miles of wall. We were going to put up another 200, and they came along and they didn't want the 200 miles of wall. They didn't want wall, and that's when I realized they really meant they wanted open borders. Who could ever think? That's a lack of common sense. Why would somebody want to have people pouring into our country, unvetted, unchecked? We know nothing about them. Even from a health standpoint, they're coming in and they have problems. It's sad. But those problems are contagious. Other people will get those problems. Why would anybody want this? It can't be great politically. There are those that say two reasons, but you probably can add a third. They hate our country. They're stupid. But see, they're not stupid, because anybody that can cheat that well is not stupid, okay? And the other thing is that they want those votes, you know? And you wouldn't think they could do them that quickly, but they're trying to sign people up that just got here, that don't speak a word of English, that have lived in prisons and lived in mental institutions. They want the vote. But I think we're going to swamp them. Look, the way you win is to swamp. I think we're going to swamp.